Do you recognize that feeling when everything is going so well and smoothly, and then you catch yourself feeling way too good, and you think to yourself, no, wait a minute, no, this is way too good, this feels weird, like this happy for so long, it's not normal. So this means that something really bad must be about to happen. And at this point, you stop yourself from feeling good and start preparing for the bad things that you think it's coming. Even though you don't know how to prepare yourself for the worst, you shut yourself down from feelings of greatness and peace. The feeling of looking forward to things is one of the best feelings that we can experience in life. It makes us excited to be here, it makes us trust that our future holds something really good for us, and it makes us feel like our desires are meant to be ours. But unfortunately, there are those who don't feel this way. In fact, the majority of people expect things to go bad. They anticipate the worst case scenario in almost every situation, no matter how good they are or how well they feel. If you are one of those people, like I was before, this mindset makes life seem like a prison or a punishment system designed just for you. You lose the excitement in your life and distrust your future. And as soon as things start to go well, you don't allow yourself to enjoy that good feeling for too long. And that makes you feel like you are destined to suffer. That life, it's all about just enduring hardships. But have you ever thought about why you feel this way? I am almost sure that your answer will be something like, well, because I have proof from my past that things always go wrong. I experienced that more than once. Am I wrong? To be honest, no, you are not wrong. Bad things did happen to you more than once, and that's why you have started to expect the worst. This is a coping mechanism that your ego developed to help you prevent severe pain. You believe that if you know what to expect, then it won't hurt that much. When those bad things happened the first time, you felt blindsided, like powerless, and unable to understand why is this even happening to me. This made you think that you have no control over your own life, that you are at the mercy of a cruel world full of terrible people that will harm you emotionally, physically, and mentally. So, as you can see, those of us who worry and expect the worst don't believe that we create our own reality, even if we desperately want to believe in. With that, we also don't believe that we are good enough to deserve love, rewards, or good things to happen to us. We think we deserve punishment instead. We believe worry keeps us safe, or at the very least, lessens our pain. But actually, as long as you are worrying and expecting the worst, you are not feeling safe as well. You are feeling constant pain. So you will most likely spend your life never actually experience safety and enjoyment. Worrying keeps you in loss. So this survival strategy that your ego created only makes you grieve about things that haven't happened yet. It makes you feel disappointed before someone has even let you down, leading you to believe that you don't have any power at all. And the worst outcome of this mindset is that it makes you believe that loving someone means missing them, that love is pain. So before they are even gone, you already miss them, confusing this with love. But this is more about you expecting the worst. I mean, just think about it. If you focus on missing that person or them when it's gone, what is in your mind at that moment? Maybe that they will find someone else, that they will betray you, start to not like you that much, maybe even have an accident, or think that something really bad will happen. And most of the times, we are not even aware of these thoughts. So now, have you ever heard about the law of attraction and how that works? You might be skeptical because believing in it might mean that you somehow deserve all those bad things that has happened and are happening to you. That is never the case. It's not how it works. The law of attraction plays a really significant role in our lives, whether you believe in it or not. And if you doubt that, you can try, for example, to say, in the next 24 hours, I want to see a blue butterfly. And then you focus on that, and that will come in a photo or in real life, or someone saying that, or it comes in different forms. Focus on that and see if that comes in the next 24 hours. And then you might get a taste of how that works, that your mind can actually attract something. You manifest what you focus and what you are. So the energy that is in you. When certain events happen as a kid that caught you by surprise in a negative way, what you needed was actually someone to be present with your feelings, to validate and help you express that pain, enabling you to heal and learn from it. However, our society is terrible with handling emotions and pain, leaving you to expect the worst later in life, of course. And without resolution or healing at that moment, because no one around you knew how to help, and certainly not you at that age, you were left alone to deal with that painful emotions and events. And the thing is, when you can't heal or receive proper care in those moments, this is called a trauma, by the way, this unhealed trauma causes you to experience the same feelings, but in different scenarios and with different people over and over and over again, which is known as a pattern, until you find the healing and resolution. So until then, you try to suppress the memory of that event, deny and ignore the feeling, and even lie to yourself, saying things like, oh, it actually didn't hurt that much, or I don't even remember it anymore. And you then distract yourself whenever you feel something similar to come up again, which is the root of all addictions. You do everything you can to escape that feeling. But this approach only traps that feeling inside of us, intensifying over time until you either explode or feel that emotion even more intensely. This means that you end up experiencing something that makes you feel even worse and worse and worse. To illustrate this, think about an event from your childhood that still makes you feel pain and sad. Now, if rejecting our feelings, denying what we truly feel, and distract ourselves really worked, then why do we still view those memories negatively? Why does it still hurt so much? Why does so many people feel miserable all the time? Shouldn't everybody be full of joy and happiness? Because the reality is that everybody is rejecting and denying their true feelings. Yet, as you can see around you, this never works. It only makes you suffer and carry that pain for years and years and years. And of course, our society sees this as a good thing. Isn't there a saying, hope for the best, prepare for the worst? But think about this for a moment. What kind of life do you have if you are constantly preparing for everything to go wrong? Can't you see that you are mentally living in a war zone? In this state, you will never feel true power and confidence because you are living in fear. And your decisions will be driven by fear, not by your true self. In this state, you will constantly worrying, living in fear, unable to take risks, and get caught in a negative cycle. And naturally, what you focus on is what you attract. That's how the law of attraction works. It always reflects your dominant thoughts and feelings. So if you expect bad things, voila, the universe will get that for you. Like I said before, it makes completely sense why you have reached this point in your life and why you think this way. But ask yourself, is it truly worth it? Living a life in fear, never allowing yourself to experience true happiness for an extended period of time, never feeling your own power and confidence? Now, this doesn't mean that if you never expect the worst, that bad things will never happen. What you need to understand is that we live in a universe, a planet, where contrast exists. And we often see contrast as a negative thing. This is something that will always be there and occur. However, you can choose to feel, express, handle the pain when it comes, and then let it go because you have learned the lessons, and you can also trust the process and in yourself enough to know that you can handle it. Or you can feel the pain and continue as you have been, just running away, distracting yourself until it completely consumes you, letting your fears dictate your life, and as well getting sick because of it. This is a decision that only you can make it. And in fact, you are making this decision every day of your life, whether you are aware of it or not. So now, if you have enough of this and you have reached to a point where you are just tired of living like this, in fear, and you are open to try something new and gain new perspectives, here are some steps that you can try. Step number 1, work on your confidence. Building confidence, first of all, takes time, a lot, sometimes a lot, it depends, and patience. So here, start proving to yourself how much power and strength you actually have. Reflect on those past experiences where you overcame difficult situations, even when you were blindsided, when it was a surprise, that event. This enables you to see that you are stronger than you believe you are, especially now as an adult. And also try to do more manifestations exercises. You can start with small things like just asking for a sign, and the sign has to be a specific thing, like the butterfly or an alligator or something else. Because here you can then see for yourself how much you can actually manifest just by thinking about it. Step number 2, learn to trust. Focus on trusting yourself and the process. Trust that you will be able to handle challenges and find solutions. Negative experiences are unavoidable, as you have already seen. Even when you prepare for the worst, it still happens, isn't it? So you can't prevent that. But you can trust in your ability to handle it. Trust that you can ask for help if needed and that solutions will come. This type of trust will help you release the pressure and fear of the unknown and the future. It will allow you to focus on the present moment because that's where you are. Not in the future, not in the past, is here. And your present decisions define your future. The choices that you make now will shape your path. Step number 3, learn more about emotions and how to express and deal with them. In this case, you can even start to think about the worst case scenario, but let yourself feel that fear and grief. This pain often goes deeper than you allow yourself and think, and probably goes back to when you were a child. You can try to do some healing sessions here, like the ones I offer. For that, you can visit my website or explore this on your own. And you can do that by diving into the feeling where you can cry. So the first step is to feel it, and you can cry, scream, just express it or however it makes sense at that moment. And only after you express that and feel that, try to understand where and when it first began. Gaining awareness is the first step towards healing. After that, then analyze what you think the next step should be. It might be trauma healing, talking to someone about it, engaging in somatic therapy, which is one of my favorite ones, or maybe other types of healing sessions that are easier, different, the one that suits you the best. You will know what the next step is, or at least where to go to ask for help. Step number 4, change your narrative about deserving good things. If you expect the worst, it likely means that subconsciously you're not even aware of it, but you believe that you don't deserve good things to happen to you, or that things cannot be too good. It's time for you to change this narrative. To help you with this, I recommend you watching my video on deserving versus entitlement. Step number 5, engage in activities that you truly enjoy. Make an effort to do more of the things that you genuinely love each day. Not what others want you to do with them or what you think you should do, but activities that you truly enjoy. And this can be small things like taking a shower or a bath, walking, going in some place, whatever it is. But in those moments, try to be fully present and focus on the feeling of doing that thing that you are liking and loving at the moment. And avoid thinking about the future or the past for as long as is possible, even if it is just for seconds. The more you allow yourself to feel good and to feel that good emotion, the more you will believe that good things can happen to you and it's okay to accept them. And here, your sense of gratitude will naturally increase more over time. Step number 6, appreciate the little moments. Learn to appreciate small, pleasant moments throughout the day. And before you fall asleep, reflect on 3 small things that you appreciated today. Step number 7, reflect on the times when things turn out to be okay. Think back to the times when you expected something really bad to happen, but everything actually turned out to be okay. You will notice that 90% of the time, things don't go as badly as you expect them to go. And the more you can prove this to yourself, the better. And then, for those times when things did go wrong, observe how much control do you actually have over those moments. There are some things that are beyond our control, so there was nothing you could have done. And now, for those moments, you could have prevented something. Just consider, just think about, why didn't you act differently at that time? Isn't it likely because you didn't know better or you didn't know how to act differently? So why are you punishing yourself for not knowing better? I mean, you only knew how to act better or differently after that event happened. Because it happened. That moment made you realize you could act differently. Negative moments are there to teach us something, and only after learning can we act better or differently. Look, we cannot predict when something bad will happen, but we also don't know when something really good and amazing will occur. Isn't it true? So think about this. Isn't it true that after a negative experience, something good also follows? Now try to flip this narrative you tell yourself. When you think of a worst case scenario, you can dive deep into it, but then stop yourself and say, okay, but this also means that something really good and amazing will happen after it. Even if something negative happens, understand that this is serving you in a positive way, even if you cannot see that at that moment and it takes years to understand it. I mean, how many times have you experienced something negative which then led you to a new direction or caused a change that made you feel better after? I mean, past relationships are always a good example. Try telling yourself a different and more positive narrative and see the difference it makes in your life just after 6 months. Just give it a try. I hope this helped you in some way, and as usual, I wish you a very nice week.